all sorts of mites love to sit inside my boxwoods, so I like to give them a nice shower, you know. All right, my dear gardeners. I love watering. Hope you like it too, because it feels so fresh in the garden, especially if we didn't have rain for a long time, and we didn't, maybe for a week. Garden feels extra fresh after all the watering I did right now. So let me show you around what's new, what's blooming in the garden here in the middle of September in Connecticut. I like tables this way, you know. Originally, when we planted this rose, I wanted the table to stand this way, and we will have a nice rose here. Imagine the dinner table here when the rose is blooming. Wonderful. So we move the table when we have guests. We move the table in the middle of the lawn, and then we move it back. And this side is better because I have access to my water, which is in that corner, and at the same time we can walk past here all right. So let me show you around what's new here. There is a new pot right in the middle of the table. Let's go and see it. I recently planted it, and it is my hyper-tufa pot, the first one I made, and I made it, I think, early spring. Look at this. The feel of ancient, right? Ancient walls, the way cement looks. I like it. It's the walls of hyper-tufa here. They are a little bit thick because this was my first attempt. I really didn't know what I was doing. And they say that you need to let hyper-tufa sit for a long time. Well, my hyper-tufa was sitting probably the whole summer and the whole spring without any activity. So finally, I planted it, and it looks so good here, doesn't it? Lovely. Fall hopefully will be less busy in the garden, so I will have more chances to explore this medium. And hyper-tufa is basically the mix of different ingredients, including cement, and it forms this very nice pot, which can be expensive to buy. It's not really difficult to make, so this fall I'm into exploring hyper-tufa here. Does look good, right? Right, here we have two sedums. One had the misfortune of flopping, and look, you can compare the flowers. This sedum is Sedum Autumn Joy, and this sedum is Sedum Autumn Fire. Sedum Autumn Fire stood better in the shade than Autumn Joy. You see, Autumn Joy fell. I overfed it. The usual misfortune of a lot of gardeners, overloving their plants. But there are so many pollinators. Beautiful. And one day I just came, you see, I'm trying to save it somehow. But one day I came in and we had a heavy rain and sedum just flopped. Okay. But Autumn Fire sedum, it has this burgundy color of the fall, right? It doesn't attract as many pollinators, believe it or not, as Autumn Joy. Autumn Joy at the back of my porch, I'm going to show you later. It is full of pollinators. This guy, not as much. Interesting, right? Just over my sedum, there is zinnias. There are zinnias. Sorry, my English mistake. And these zinnias are so cheerful. I love white color in the garden. And several years ago, I was growing marigolds, white marigolds, and now I'm growing zinnia. It's Profusion series, Profusion White. And you know what? Somebody was asking me about seeds. This zinnia is hybrid. It's a good thing for beginner gardeners to know. When you see that seeds are from the plant which are hybrids, they would not come true from seeds next year. So don't even try to collect seeds from this zinnia. And actually, this zinnia doesn't even form good seeds. They would be very leggy, not as proliferous. You know, the creation of those seeds has human interference. So this zinnia, because it's hybrid, it has extra growth habit, extra flower habit, more beautiful flowers, right? And unfortunately, I would have to buy seeds again if I would want to grow this zinnia. You know what I did? I forgot to water it today, so look at this poor thing. I just watered it and it was all nodding its flowers like this, asking for water, so good that I noticed it. If I would compare this white color with marigold white, which I grew several years ago, I would choose marigold white marigold, because marigold is more proliferous, it's sturdier, it has very strong foliage. Look, when you look here, foliage is a little bit yellowish, and it's better here in this sack, which I grew. It's a success story, by the way. You see, second year, overwintered. I'm not sure if you see it. And zinnia was very happy here. But because of this foliage negative, I'm going to return back to marigold white. But it's a nice little presence of white here, right? Looks really good. All right, so this is what new in this section of the garden. Let's go and look at my porch. Oh, one more thing. Hydrangea. This hydrangea, look at it, how good it is. It was a gift, a hydrangea from the store, one of those little skinny ones, and look how beautiful it is. It looks really good, and it created a lot of blooms here. I think this hydrangea is happy here. It stays very close to the sitting area, so I never forget to water it. And this hydrangea looks like, oh, I'm enjoying all the humidity and all the good stuff in the soil here. All right, let's see. Sun is out. It's afternoon time. The birds got interested in our birdhouse. I don't know. They're starting to collect hay there. Let's go and see. Are they going to have a family so late in the season? I am not sure. Look at this. You see? What are they thinking? Right now they're sitting there on branches, staring at me. Black-eyed Susans outdid themselves, finished their blooms. The next job would be to cut them down and tidy up this area a bit. Oh, I love the soil when it is nice and full of water. Feels so good. Now here we have, I planted radish as a winter crop, not winter crop, winter harvest. I got annoyed with rabbits, who, by the way, ate all my California poppies, which I scattered around all the seeds in the garden. Not a single poppy survived. So, no fun. All right, what's new at the porch? Some of you were asking the name of this verbena. You see the beautiful purple color plant growing right near my chair. And this verbena is Verbena bonariensis, and it is vanity variety. I planted it first year in my garden. Look at this beautiful color. And it looks so well against the white cushions of the chair. I think next year I will grow a lot of this, particularly this verbena, on the porch, because I will have this chair, right? And maybe I will match it with some other color. And I think that I have too many pots here, so it's getting a little bit crowded. Time to kind of get rid of something, because look at the space here. There's not much space on the patio, right? Okay, so back to this verbena. This verbena is annual. You can buy seeds, and this verbena reseeds itself freely in the garden. So once you buy seeds, it's good to go. And I'm planning to collect all the seeds eventually in the fall. They will start forming here. The only thing with this verbena I have, the only negative, it's kind of prone to mildew. Well, I'm keeping here this verbena in a really tight spot. Not really, this spot doesn't do any justice to this beautiful plant, so it has to be showcased better. Well, next year I will do that. And verbena, you see, it fell here, but it keeps itself straight. Look at all the new shoots it created here. Beautiful. I'm very happy with this variety. It's not as unruly as other varieties, and it stays fairly short. Let me show you. In comparison to the chair, right? It doesn't stay very tall and unruly. On another side of my chair, I have zinnias. Oh, poor things. They are supposed to be big and bushy. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know what happened to them? I wasn't here in spring to make divisions, right? So when we want plant to be bushy, we pinch the tops at the beginning of their growth. So zinnias benefit a lot from it, especially the tall big ones like this one. And I wasn't there, so now I have very skinny zinnias growing here. But they are so proliferous and so bright. Look at them right here. Happy, happy zinnias. I also will collect seeds from these zinnias, plant them next year, and hopefully will do very strict division, and they will be nice and bushy for me. All right, now let's check my pot. Well, you know what I'm going to do? This is not doing my pot any justice whatsoever. So I'm going to take these guys out. I have boxwoods growing in my gardens, baby boxwoods, and I'm going to plant boxwood, one of them, I believe it's green velvet. I will plant the boxwood here in this pot and will try to overwinter it. A green velvet boxwood is, what is it? It's hardy to zone 5 to 7. And I'm in zone 7A officially now, so I will try to overwinter it. And hopefully my green boxwood will survive well the winter in that pot and will look so much better. And you are looking at beautiful Coreopteris flowering lovely lavender color. Look at this. You know, I like how before it opens, it has these little bubbles on top, right? Like ding, 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 and then it becomes fuzzy at the end. Look at all the pollinators. Oh, they're so interested in their flowers. They couldn't care less about me here. Let's take you to the front of the house where I am trying to develop something with my flower bed, the front flower bed, which separates my house from the street. And it might be a little bit too sunny, but let me see. Oh, look at this. Look at this color. Dee-dee. Pretty, isn't it? All right, this is the house where the Carmody family lives. And I was busy today raising the canopy of this tree here, which we have. You see? Now you can see through it. I did it once already, and now I did it again higher. This way first of all, we can park here our car. This is the side of the street. And people can walk freely here on this path. So, there are several developments here with this flower bed here, and we have a lot of hydrangeas here. You see, this is, oh, look at this, clearly the flowers already faded, but I'm struggling with open soil here. I really want this flower bed to be densely packed with plants. And through the years I introduced different plants here. So here's one of them, lamb's ears. Not really happy with lamb's ears. They are drought resistant. Yes, they feel very comfortable with dry soil, and soil here is very dry. But they don't want really to spread in semi-shade here, and they're staying kind of small. So second thing which I tried is winker. You see, I was thinking it's going to be successful here. Well, it's very unruly. You see how it stretches? It has a lot of long canes, and unfortunately they come out on the pavement here, so I always have to cut them off, and I don't like it. So I have one more plant. Let's go and I will show you what plant that is. Look at these hydrangeas. I keep these green flowers here till they become dark like this, and then I just trim them and keep hydrangeas tall and nice through the winter. Here's another one. Oh, look at this. This is my best hydrangea. And look how well it pairs with phlox, ground cover phlox here. All right, so this is another plant, ajuga. I have two types of ajugas. This one is a dark variety, and at the back under my evergreen tree I have a lighter variegated variety. I think this variety is not as impressive as the lighter one. I'm going to show you lighter one a little bit later. Look at this middle strip between our entrance and the garage. So it's usually very dry, and it is shady here. I didn't have a chance this year to do anything with this strip, so we have sedums here, bird bath, a lot of sedums actually. And last year I introduced ajuga, and look how nicely it colonized here. Between ajuga and winker, I think ajuga is winning, you see, and I like how it spills out. You see, it has this nice edge. So what I'm going to do in the fall, well, basically now, I'm going to plant all this, and maybe variegated variety. Let's see how it looks. I will underplant my hydrangeas, and look at this beautiful hydrangea. Isn't this gorgeous plant? Here we have these little corners here, and they can be covered instead of winker, which is here, it actually looks very good. It's a mix of all sorts of plants here. I don't like it. You see how kind of messy it looks here? So I'm going to introduce ajuga, which is going to spread in numbers and will march ferociously. Peony leaves already succumbed to mildew. I'm going to cut them down. They did their job, and my wire hoop will protect the spot where the plant is growing from, people are stepping on my flower bed here. Oh, just look at my hydrangea. Beautiful. Even in its aging color, it looks so good. So this is a plan for this area. This ajuga is wonderful. Let me show you at the back my variegated variety. And here we have a second type of ajuga, which is variegated variety. So I'm not sure which one would be better for the front. What do you think? I was thinking, since that area is getting shady and shadier, this would be the better choice. Let me know. I'm curious to see what you think. This one or the darker one, which I showed you before in the front. Oh, the shadows are setting in on the garden. You see? The evening is coming. By the way, look at these planks. You see right there, the beige ones? I'm going to build a support for my generous garden. Since we have the trees taking out here on this side, this area is going to receive more sun. So generous gardener will have more opportunity to have more flowers and grow strong here. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you in my next video. Happy gardening!